Yo, what's good, bees? In this video, we're going to be reacting to This Week in Sports Ball 2020 AFC Free Agency Edition. Let's see what Urinating Tree is talking about with this one.
In these dark, foreboding times, it's at least comforting that we can have some semblance of normalcy. NFL free agency still starting on time, and it was as bonkers as we all expected it to be. Honestly, the most shocking thing of all didn't happen there. It was with the NFLPA. They've had a bitter grudge on the owners for a very long time, and a strike was all but inevitable. That was until this past week. By the slimmest of margins, the Players Association passed the newest CBA proposal. There will be 10 more years of 10's peace. You would think that it does great things for the players, and in some ways it helps. Weed will no longer be tested, training camps
Will no longer be tested? Damn, son, I don't know about that one. I think the player's going to abuse that shit till Kingdom Come.
and practices are eased, and minimum salaries rise exponentially. Otherwise, it's a massive ripoff. Another game is added to the NFL schedule with no extra bye week. Franchise tags still remain. The owners still have significant control over the rocketing rise of league revenues. The players, despite all of their talk, folded like a 10-2 draw at the Open. Don't complain to me when this blows up in your face like...
Yeah, they was going crazy over the internet talking about the new CBA. And when they revised it, it came up to shit again. So, it was all talk, no action with it. You know what I'm saying?
And inevitably will. They won't worry about that, as there are countless other teams celebrating the New England Patriots offseason. To them, the evil empire is finally dead.
Can't believe one game from the Dolphins changed the entire scope of the New England Patriots. That is crazy.
And buried in the ground. The longtime servant Darth Brady is gone. He will not be re-signed by the team. Even though when you look at it logically, it makes perfect sense. Brady is going to be 43 and is coming off a season where he suffered a stiff decline in ability. He's far more of a game manager than a thrower. Don't give me the excuse of his receiving core. His arm strength has taken a...
Yeah, a lot of people be providing that excuse for Brady. Nah, bro, you play with what you have. I don't hear people say that about Aaron Rodgers. I don't people hear that saying that about Drew Brees. So you got to play with what you have. You know what I'm saying?
massive hit. There's also the losses of significant talent on defense, but I have a sneaking suspicion they'll still be around. They'll somehow stumble into another elite QB talent and run another dynasty, because that's how this bullshit works. Your move, AFC East.
Oh yeah, Deshaun Watson. He'd be a good fit for the Patriots. Yeah, he'd be a good fit.
The Miami Dolphins hypothetically put the dagger in New England back in Week 17. Today, they feel like reinforcing old stereotypes. Fancying themselves as something worthy of playoff contention, the choice was made to throw...
The Dolphins is low-key on the rise right now. The AFC East is wide open. I don't think the Bills or the Jets is ready for what the Dolphins gonna come with.
money at quality free agents. Because that hasn't been tried in Miami time and time again. Today, though, they went for less flash and more substance. Byron Jones, Shaq Lawson, and Kyle Van Noy the big prizes on defense. There's also Emmanuel Ogba, Jordan Howard is a power back, and Eric Flowers. Yes, Eric Flowers was a
Eric Flowers? That man is no good, bruh.
sought-after free agent. $10 million per year worth. I know he's done better as a guard, but really? Him? I can't shake off his meme form as a Giant, I'm sorry. In the reconversion to analytics, the Browns have chosen to do what they usually do and invest greatly in free agency. This time, like Miami, they've gone for less flash and more substance.
Finally, the OBJ and Jarvis Landry joint. The OBJ and the Jarvis Landry tandem's not gonna work. Excuse me, but OBJ is too much of a diva, man. And that coach Freddie Kitchens was never a coach. He was never ready.
Austin Hooper, the top tight end on the market, now a Brown for a pricey sum. Jack Conklin to hopefully bolster the awful tackle situation on the O-line, but this comes at a cost. Joe Schobert, the rock of the linebacking core, is gone. Same as Christian Kirksey, but that dude couldn't stay healthy for his life. The same goes for the rest of the defensive guys leaving. Another year more turnover in Cleveland. This may also include OBJ. Again. Someday perhaps they'll get it right.
Well, with the Brown situation, you gotta add by subtracting, man. Can't have too many star players. There's too many personalities on that team for them to function. So hopefully they trade him and get back some valuable assets for him, so that way they could prosper next season.
They can be like the Ravens and Steelers who somehow do shit properly. Cleveland, maybe you can make a trade for Calais Campbell to bring name power to the defensive line. Alright, you just suck at doing it. Pittsburgh sees your Austin Hooper and raises you an Eric Ebron, a needed get with their tight end woes. Even with the need for new challengers, these two teams will somehow be at the top. Don't deny it, you know it's true, Cleveland. Indianapolis had a lost year last season. They're hoping this year isn't more of the same. On defense, they need an anchor of the line. The Colts splurged on a premium talent in DeForest Buckner. For the price of a first-round pick, it's pretty much win-win for both teams. Indy gets their man, and San Francisco gets a nice future asset for a player they wouldn't be able to afford in the future. The real issue, though, is at quarterback. Jacoby Brissett is decent, but not a guy who could carry a team. To do this, they went to an old horse, Phillip Rivers. Look,
Phillip Rivers, he had a horrible season. Damn. Picks on picks on picks. Yo, I know y'all saw that Raiders game, bruh. That man threw that whole game away. What? For $25 million at that? Nah.
I know Rivers is an accomplished QB, but did you see him last year? He looked like he was forcing balls left and right, and that was with a stronger receiving core than an Indy. Even with their offensive line, I'm just not buying this move. Feels like trying to patch up a dam with...
That's the game I'm talking about right there. Yo, son, he cost him that game, bruh.
Flex tape. You can only do so much, boys. Meanwhile, in Saxonville, the Abbey is burning. Everything that was known and loved in Duval is falling, and...
Jacksonville had that one good year in 2015 and then just suddenly fell off. What the hell happened?
Record time. That 2017 defense was idolized
2017, excuse me. Don't roast me.
for their talent and skill. Now the only main piece remaining is Miles Jack. You could technically add Yannick Ngakoue to the list of those staying, but let's be real, he'll be gone in a month. He will join Calais Campbell and H.A. Bouye, who were traded for several boxes of disinfecting wipes. Nick Foles, in spite of his awful contract, is also gone. Blowing up the wrong thing. They needed to dismantle management, not the player structure.
Yeah, management over in Jacksonville is horrible. See what he did, man? What the fuck?
At least you got Joe Schobert. That's good. I'd say you have a nice haul of draft picks, but do you really trust this management group anymore? I told you, Houston. Should have fired Bill O'Brien back in January.
He costed y'all season for next season. Y'all ain't going to no playoffs.
At halftime of the game, the Texans hilariously blew against the Chiefs. What did Houston do to the butt-chinned wonder? Make him the permanent GM. Rewarding failure. That's why life as a whole is miserable, and
I think the upper management is afraid of something to get rid of Bill O'Brien. Is he holding y'all nudes or something? Get rid of this man.
I'm a cynical bastard. You thought trading Jadeveon Clowney for trash wasn't good enough. Well, how about a trade for David Johnson? It's okay as a buy low candidate, even though they're taking on all of his salary from Arizona, but it could work. And it's all for the bargain bin price of Deandre Hopkins. That is not a misnomer. The Texans traded one of the best wide receivers in the game for a running back that hasn't had elite production in years. They only got a second-round pick and swapped fourths for the trouble. He was traded for a few rolls of toilet paper. There was only one explanation for this, and you know what it is. Bill O'Brien is a hack. The issue isn't that they didn't want to pay Nuke Hopkins. The problem is that the trade came out of nowhere. They didn't bother to market...
Yeah, this surprised me, bruh. When I saw this, I was like, yo, what? What are they doing? They got rid of the top receiver, one of the top receivers in the league.
Him to get better value. He got fleeced by a poverty organization. It's alleged that Butchin compared him to Aaron Hernandez in a meeting.
Oh, nah, son. Aaron Hernandez? What?
When Hopkins has no character issues. And to top it all off, they replace him with Randall Cobb. Yes, the joy of 2016. Nowhere near what he was either. This is your GM, Houston. Enjoy the shit show. Let's compare this to what Minnesota did with Stephon Diggs. He's been unhappy for a while and trades have been rumored since last year. Did they dump him off at the nearest station with a ham sandwich? Of course not. They marketed him properly and came away with good value. He's even a lesser talent than Nuke Hopkins in my mind, but they still did much better. The Buffalo Bills needed a legit top wide receiver. It was one of their biggest weaknesses last season, and they made a splash to get it done. Fortunately, he did not pull an Antonio Brown and refuse to go there. So Minnesota gets a first and several mid-round picks for Diggs. Good value.
That's how you trade for your top receiver, Houston.
All around. See, Bill? That's called due diligence. It's what the Texans failed to do. The Titans were ever so close to being the underdog darlings of the NFL world. Unfortunately for them, it was Kansas City's time. The question for them moving forward wasn't Tannehill and Derrick Henry. Both were keys to their success in the future, and I'm happy to say that both are back. Tannehill, free from the incompetent grasp of Adam Gase, blossomed into a lucrative 4-year deal. Derrick Henry, however, was franchise tagged.
I was surprised that he got franchise tagged. But at the same time, I can't understand, because this is one breakout year, and if you pay him a lot just because of one breakout year, he might regress. So I understand why they franchise tagged him.
I'd say pay him, but considering how other big-name running backs have fared after their big boy deals, might be for the best. Same goes for Vic Beasley. He was good in 2016, so it might work out again. Change of scenery and all. Las Vegas, it'll take me a while to get used to that, is looking for splashes to appease the gods of Sin City. They need fresh faces to shine under the new lights. Somewhere, Derek Carr is wondering what the hell he has to do to not have his job under threat. His newest competitor is Marcus Mariota, who
Marcus Mariota. He might have a resurgence at at Las Vegas. But who knows?
Say didn't work out as a top draft pick in Tennessee. Perhaps he can be the next Tannehill. Corey Littleton, a very good get for the linebacking core. Good work. Another new face, an old cowboy in Jason Witten.
Why? That's a waste of a contract. This man is old as hell. The hell y'all doing?
Did Oakland really need another tight end? I thought Darren Waller emerged as a legit option. Or is it to develop him as a color commentator? I honestly wouldn't be shocked if it's the latter. I didn't catch the fact that the Raiders also signed Nelson Aguilar as well. Par for the course. The Phillip Rivers era is over in Charger land, and many tears were shed. Those were chucked into the air and intercepted by the opposition as well. In the meantime, there were grumblings of them eyeing a new quarterback, but they've chosen to punt the ball. If you somehow wanted even less Charger fans, congratulations, here's Tyrod Taylor as your new
Tyrod Taylor. He hasn't been good since the Bills days.
starter. I have no idea why, but my gut tells me that Taylor will somehow be fucked over like he was in Buffalo, because this is how this goes. To those of us that knew the Joe Flacco experiment was doomed to fail, may we please pretend to feign surprise at the announcement that he was...
Yeah, Joe Flacco experiment in Denver. It was never going to work out. Sorry to say. Y'all just terrible overall.
...was cut. Drew Lock is the future, and there is no more room for checkdowns at this hotel. Elway now is his keystone, but what they need is line help. They got some last year, but the stench of Garrett Bowles is far too pungent. Here's a Graham Glasgow free from the hamster wheel of Detroit. But Elway desires more. Melvin Gordon has been gunning for a massive payday for a while now. Despite his holdout last season, it didn't come to fruition.
He held out just to play like ass. I'm not going to be surprised if he plays a similar way to he played last year.
Not only due to the Chargers being unwilling to pay, but due to a substandard season lowering his stock. Since there was no way he'd be going back to a place that slighted him, why not have a division rival swoop in to save the day? Denver, meet your yin to Philip Lindsay's yang. 2 years at $8 million per year worth. Not the haul Gordon was expecting, but it could...
I forgot they had Philip Lindsay. Yo, what are y'all doing? You already got a running back, huh? Philip Lindsay's good. I don't know why y'all got Melvin Gordon.
Could work out in the end. If Drew Lock develops, the Broncos could be a force to be reckoned with. That is, if John Elway doesn't find a way to mess it all up.
Alright, you guys, that's the end of the video right here. Be sure to subscribe and leave a like. Alright, bees, I'm out.